You know, action scenes are a lot cooler when everyone's wearing a nice suit. Hi everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to Tread Talks. You know, the first John Wick movie caught a lot of people by surprise, especially those who had forgotten about Keanu Reeves since he did the Matrix series. The movie did a lot right. It had a straightforward story about someone trying to get revenge. It was a sympathetic character trying to grieve the loss of his wife and his dog. It had an interesting world of assassins fleshed out by supporting characters played by good actors. And above all that, we got amazing gunfight choreography that felt more authentic than what we typically see in a movie. And so I was really looking forward to Chapter 2, hoping that they wouldn't screw up the sequel. And overall, they succeeded. Okay, so right off the bat, let me say that the movie assumes that you saw the first one. It's something that every sequel has to contend with. How much do you re-explain what came before? And in this case, it's not like you'll be completely lost. You can figure out who the different characters are and what role they play, but you'd probably have a much better sense of the locations and the rules and care more about John himself if you saw the first one. And of course, John is played by Keanu Reeves. And for someone who has entire YouTube videos dedicated to how poor his acting is, he actually does pretty well here. But what he really brings to the role is a dedication to the physicality of the character. He trained extensively for this, and the result is that we see him on screen as someone who truly has control and mastery over the weapons he's using. And as a result, we believe that he's the world's best assassin and that he's actually escaping the situations that he's placed in. And beyond that, we have a host of new and returning supporting characters that really work to flesh out this assassin world. Now, the trailers always made it a point to show Lawrence Fishburne, probably because it's their first movie together since the Matrix series. But he doesn't get a lot of screen time. He's great while he's there, and I want to see more, but don't go in expecting him to be on screen for a significant amount of time. And the other character I wanted to see more of was the one played by Ruby Rose. She has the core of what could be an interesting antagonist, but not enough is done with it. Now, in terms of the plot, I'm really glad that it's not a complete retread of the first movie, unlike, for example, Taken 2, which is basically Taken again. The main thrust is the same. John is still trying to retire from being an assassin, but the thing that brings him back is simultaneously different than what was in the first movie, while at the same time being connected to what we learned before. And so in that sense, I think the title is very fitting. It really is the second chapter in the story of John Wick. And the movie does an excellent job of escalating the stakes for John over time in gradual ways that are also quite clever and inventive. Sometimes it's based on the location he's navigating through, other times it's based on limited resources, and often he's fighting through some serious injuries. And so unlike the last act of the first film, where it kind of felt like the movie ran out of steam, in this one it continues to escalate, and so at each point you're wondering, how the hell is he going to get through this? And then he gets through it in ways that are creative and exciting to watch. At the same time, there are a couple of things that knocked it down a little bit for me. Not enough to make it a bad movie, but enough that I noticed. The first is that the world seems to have gotten a bit more cartoonish than I would have liked, to the point where the scope of the assassin world feels so large that sometimes there are more assassins out there than regular people. And I also had to suspend my disbelief a little bit more than I'd like. There are a few opportunities that people just don't take to ambush John Wick, and so sometimes it feels like he's being protected more by the script than by his own skills. But mainly it feels like the movie is missing that little bit of heart that was there in the first one. And so now it's about placing the character in increasingly difficult and dangerous set pieces and seeing how he gets out. And they're entertaining and well choreographed and well shot set pieces, but at the same time it feels a little bit shallow. But hey, when all is said and done, this is a very successful sequel. It fleshes out the world of the original in some interesting ways, it builds off of that story without ripping it off, and most importantly for me, we're being given some creatively crafted and well-executed action sequences with an actor who's willing to throw himself into the role in order to make it believable. It's the kind of thing that I enjoyed in my teenage years watching Jackie Chan movies for the first time, and the fact that this movie evoked that same kind of excitement and anticipation for what's next is the best compliment that I can give it. Okay, so that was John Wick Chapter 2, and now you get to decide what movie I review next. And it's looking like a great weekend again, because on the one hand you have Patient Zero, a story about a pandemic that threatens to wipe out humanity, and on the other hand you have The Great Wall, with Matt Damon in it, for reasons that I'm sure will be very sensible once I actually watch the movie. So leave a comment below and let me know what movie I should watch and review. And in the meantime, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.